So just over a week ago, when Meghan launched One Off, the Daily Mail did something odd, and I wanted to talk about it then, but there were so many stories coming out from the Australian tour. I put this on the back burner and forgot about it till I was reminded of it this morning. So essentially, at 6:43 in the morning, the Daily Mail posted that they had found Meghan's oversized striped shirt, and they found it on sale with 30% off. Plus, they also gave the readers the best alternatives from Marks and Spencer's, Ralph Lauren, and other outlets. Okay, so they found the shirt, they found it on sale, and they found alternatives from multiple retailers. Fair enough. So they packaged all of this into a shopping piece designed to drive affiliate revenue for the Daily Mail, by directing their readers towards Meghan's exact item or something similar from a comparable brand, right? And the piece existed because Meghan wore the shirt, and people who were reading the Daily Mail wanted to know where it was from, and Daily Mail decided to build an editorial and commercial infrastructure around providing that information. So you can get Meghan's shirt, or you can get a shirt similar to Meghan's if you visit blah. And we know it's all about affiliate marketing. It's about driving revenue from the clicks that they get. You might say, okay, Elizabeth, that's fair enough, but bear with me. So essentially, the Daily Mail was selling Meghan's outfit. They were selling Meghan's outfit using Meghan's name, using Meghan's image, using Meghan's taste and her cultural influence to generate traffic on their own platform. And the Marks and Spencer's alternative generates a click. The Ralph Lauren alternative generates a click. The original shirt on sale also generates a click. And every click has commercial value, and the Daily Mail captures that value entirely. Okay, you might say, but Elizabeth, that's how it works. Fair enough. However, at 1:02 in the afternoon on the same day, the Daily Mail decided to publish this. They published that Meghan is criticized for selling outfit that she wore when she met Bondi Beach terror attack survivors. 6 hours and 19 minutes later, they start abusing Meghan for doing similar to what they have done in that morning. Daily Mail, hypocrisy is thy name. So this for me is the gap between the Daily Mail profiting from Meghan's outfit and the Daily Mail publishing a story criticizing Meghan from profiting off her own outfit. The same outlet, the same outfit, the same day, and two completely contradictory editorial positions, only separated by 6 hours. And they deliberately, I believe what they did was, okay, which story is going to generate the most clicks? So that's why they decided to write two stories, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And it's very similar to how the British press ecosystem, the media ecosystem, it's similar to how it operates, even the TV shows, because ITV in particular, and I'm calling them out, they have platformed some of Meghan's most virulent and hateful derangers. Yes, I call them derangers. And one, the one who walked out on his job, he's the most virulent of all. And he holds such power over the other presenters, they feel they've got to follow in his footsteps. So whatever he says, one of them will nod along like a nodding dog, and the others will not say anything till the weatherman, Alex, said something, and that made him walk out. But why am I bringing that comparison? because from morning right to the afternoon, it's one thing after another, one thing after another. So they might take one position in the morning. By the afternoon, they've taken another position, and it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And this operates throughout the British media ecosystem. And at the end of the day, this is the mentality, because in the morning, right, the Daily Mail, they said, okay, we're going to make money from this shirt, and this is how we're going to do it. So that was a revenue opportunity for them. And they, okay, this outfit is going to drive traffic, so let's exploit that. And we know that the editorial team, they know that Meghan drives money to them because they have been running a lot of shop her look pieces about Meghan since she first appeared in public with Harry. So for over 10 years now, they've been doing this, and they know she is a moneymaker. And these pieces consistently outperform other fashion content. Again, the numbers show this, the data proves this. Because at the end of the day, the Meghan Effect, as we saw in Australia, drove about 51.6 million Australian dollars in media impact revenue, in media impact value for 16 brands in Australia. So the Daily Mail, they know this, and they wanted to get their share of the Meghanomics. But the hypocrisy here is that by lunchtime, this same revenue driving machine that is Meghan, it became a scandal. They decided, you know what? We are going to create a scandal around her wearing a shirt. Yes, around her monetizing the fact that she wore this particular outfit. So why should the money go to her pocket? The money should be coming to us instead. And they decided to attack her, because even the criticism generates revenue for the Daily Mail. Outrage clicks, moral concern about a woman monetizing a visit to see terror attack survivors. Imagine that. And it just goes to show that it's not the news, it's how the news is reported. It's not what someone has done, it's how they choose to report what someone has done. Her sister-in-law the other day, and I'm still shocked that she had the audacity to say what she said about, oh, I find these events, I find them uncomfortable because I've got a very small voice, and they tell me to speak up all the time because my voice is very soft. Look at me, delicate little flower. I can't speak, and yet I am so brave. I am meeting you. All the coverage was sympathetic and quickly forgotten. Unbelievable. But anyway, as we know, the goal of the Daily Mail is to make profit from hate, and they've decided that hating Meghan is $1 billion industry, and they've decided to go for it. Because at the end of the day, when Meghan participates in the one-off platform and takes a percentage from the retailer and shares a portion with the creator, that is Meghan, at the end of the day, it is Meghan's choices that is driving consumer interest. It is Meghan with her own styling that is driving consumer interest. So I don't know what else to say about this other than the Daily Mail. I wonder how long they're going to sustain this for, because I don't think this is sustainable in the long term. But let's see how it goes, because yeah, this is just ridiculous, and this is why I feel they are losing readers, and they're not getting as much traffic as they used to. And also I feel that they were very upset because Meghan now has a direct-to-consumer channel. So rather than people go to places like the Daily Mail to find what she was wearing, she now has her own channel, and maybe that's why they did what they did, but who knows. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, please. My name's Elizabeth. I'm the author of The Luxpreneur, and for more insights like these, please like, share, comment, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, please. And make sure you are subscribing to moi, which is Elizabeth Solaru 4970. And to support my work in holding truth to power, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Elizabeth Solaru, or you can get a copy of my book, The Luxpreneur, from Amazon, Waterstones, or Barnes & Noble.
The Daily Mail's double
recognise that
standard,
phrase, not a working
profiting
royal? I mean, it
from
strikes me, you're
while
obviously from the
condemning
royal
her.
family, you're here doing a trip,
The mechanics
bringing
of this
attention to a really
contradiction
important
are
cause
worth
that risks
examining
being
in
forgotten.
detail
Do you
because they
recognise
reveal
that
something
description of you?
fundamental
No,
about
I
how
will always be
modern
part of the
media
royal family, and
operates.
I'm here
The
working
Daily
and doing the
Mail's
very
morning
thing that
shopping
I was
piece
born
and
to
their
do.
afternoon condemnation weren't separate
and I enjoy doing
editorial
it.
decisions
I enjoy being
made
able
by
to do these
different
trips
teams
and come
working
and
in
support the people
isolation.
that I've met
They
before,
were
the friends
strategic moves
that I've
within a
that I've
carefully
made,
orchestrated
and
commercial
hopefully bringing
operation.
attention to issues that,
The morning piece
for
generated
one reason or
revenue
another, drop out of the
through
news
affiliate links
because
and clicks,
something else has popped up.
leveraging Meghan's cultural
But
capital
I'm grateful to
to
all of you
drive
guys being here
traffic toward
and
retail
telling
partners.
these stories that so
The
desperately need to
afternoon
be
piece
told.
generated revenue through outrage and moral concern, leveraging the same outfit to drive engagement from readers who felt compelled to comment, share, and express their disapproval. Both stories extracted maximum commercial value from the exact same moment, the exact same outfit, the exact same woman, but approached from opposite angles, designed to capture different audience segments at different points in the news cycle. The newspaper that profits most directly from Meghan's wardrobe choices positioned itself as her moral superior, criticising her for doing commercially what the Daily Mail had already done that same morning without her involvement, without her consent, and without sharing a single penny of the revenue they generated. This isn't hypocrisy born from thoughtlessness or editorial oversight. This is a business model. The Daily Mail has built its commercial infrastructure on the premise that they have the right to monetize Meghan's influence while simultaneously maintaining the moral authority to condemn her for monetizing her own influence. They capture the value. She bears the criticism. And somewhere in that gap between 6:43 in the morning and 1:02 in the afternoon, the real story emerges. Not about what Meghan wore, but about who gets to profit from it, and who gets to decide whether that profiting is acceptable. The morning shopping piece and commercial extraction. At 6:43 in the morning, the Daily Mail published a Shop Her Look article that identified Meghan's oversized striped shirt, highlighted it on sale with a 30% discount, and provided readers with alternative options from M&S, Ralph Lauren, and other comparable retailers. This piece was designed with a singular commercial purpose: to drive affiliate revenue through clicks directed toward the original item and its alternatives, capturing the full monetary value of consumer interest that Meghan's choices generated without offering her any share of the return. The Daily Mail had built an entire editorial and commercial infrastructure around this exact practice, running these shopping pieces about Meghan consistently since she first appeared in public with Harry, because they knew from documented evidence that the Meghan effect on retail was significant enough to guarantee outperformance of other fashion content. By packaging Meghan's name, Meghan's image, Meghan's taste, and Meghan's cultural influence into a strategically timed morning piece, the newspaper extracted complete commercial value from her influence. Every click generated revenue that flowed entirely to the Daily Mail itself, leaving Meghan as the unwitting architect of their own profit, and the designer of the item as merely incidental to the transaction. This was the confession disguised as consumer service, the admission that the Daily Mail's business model depended entirely on monetizing Meghan's wardrobe on her behalf without her consent and without compensation. The afternoon accusation. At 1:02 p.m. on the same day, the Daily Mail published a follow-up story with a drastically different angle. Meghan Markle is criticised for selling outfit she wore when she met Bondi Beach terror attack survivors. The shift was stark and deliberate. Where the morning piece had framed the outfit as a shopping opportunity, a consumer good to be purchased through affiliate links, the afternoon piece reframed it as evidence of exploitation. The criticism focused entirely on the moral dimension, that Meghan was monetising a solemn visit to survivors of tragedy, that she was turning a moment of human suffering into a commercial transaction. This narrative was designed to generate outrage engagement, to mobilise the moral concern of readers who could be relied upon to feel genuine indignation at the idea of someone profiting from tragedy. It worked precisely because it appealed to something real in people, a legitimate discomfort with commercialising suffering, even as it ignored the identical commercialisation happening in the morning piece. The Daily Mail had simply identified which version of the story would drive more traffic at which point in the news cycle, and it executed both with equal confidence, each completely contradicting the other, each designed to extract maximum revenue from the same outfit on the same day. The 6-hour contradiction. Between 6:43 in the morning and 1:02 in the afternoon on the same day, the Daily Mail executed a masterclass in editorial contradiction. Only 6 hours and 19 minutes separated a shopping piece celebrating Meghan's striped shirt, complete with a 30% discount link and alternatives from M&S and Ralph Lauren, from a scandal piece criticising Meghan for daring to profit from that very same outfit. The mathematics of this reversal is straightforward. The Daily Mail's morning strategy identified a commercial opportunity in Meghan's wardrobe choices and built an entire monetization apparatus around it, capturing every click, every retail referral, every pound of affiliate revenue for themselves. By afternoon, the same outfit had transformed into evidence of moral failure, a symbol of exploitation and impropriety, because the scandal angle promised a different revenue stream. The clicks generated by outrage, by moral concern, by the audience that consumes criticism as readily as shopping tips. Same outlet, same outfit, same day. Two completely contradictory editorial positions separated not by principle, but by a calculation about which angle would extract more value from their audience at which moment in the news cycle. The morning's confession became the afternoon's accusation, a 6-hour window that reveals how editorial decisions, framed as journalism, presented as commentary, are fundamentally commercial decisions disguised in the language of public interest. The Daily Mail's extractive model. The morning shopping piece captured 100% of the commercial value generated by Meghan's influence without offering her a single penny in return. While readers click through to purchase the striped shirt, explore the M&S alternative, or consider the Ralph Lauren option, every transaction's revenue stream flowed directly into the Daily Mail's coffers. Meghan, whose name, image, taste and cultural significance were the entire reason the piece existed, received no compensation whatsoever for this commercial exploitation of her wardrobe choices. The designer benefited only indirectly. Their sales increased because Meghan wore the item and the Daily Mail directed traffic toward it. But they were never partners in the transaction, never consulted, never compensated beyond whatever margin came from organic consumer interest. This is extraction in its purest form. The Daily Mail identified what Meghan wore, packaged it into a shopping narrative, monetized the commercial infrastructure built around her influence, and kept the entirety of the return for itself, while both Meghan and the designer received nothing but the secondary effects of increased visibility. The newspaper had constructed an entire editorial and commercial system designed to do exactly this, running shop her look pieces about Meghan consistently because they outperform other fashion content, because the Meghan effect on retail is documented and commercially significant, because these pieces work. The Daily Mail was not in the business of providing fashion information. It was in the business of extracting Meghan's commercial value without her participation, consent, or compensation. The participatory alternative to extractive media models, where the Daily Mail's model operates as pure extraction, harvesting Meghan's influence, taste and cultural capital while funneling the entire commercial return to itself, the one-off platform functions as a distribution mechanism. Rather than concentrating revenue in the hands of a single intermediary, one-off disperses it across the supply chain. Meghan receives a percentage as the creator whose choices drove the consumer interest in the first place. The designers whose work she selected benefit directly from the sales their featured items generate, and the platform itself takes only a portion rather than claiming everything. It is, in essence, a reversal of the extractive logic. The Daily Mail identifies what Meghan wore, packages it for profit, and leaves her with nothing. One-off identifies what Meghan wore, packages it for commerce, and ensures she, along with the creators whose work she curated, receives a tangible share of the revenue her choices created. The difference between these two models is not merely a matter of ethics or fairness, though it is both. It is a structural difference in how commercial value flows. One model treats Meghan as a resource to be mined. The other treats her as a participant in the transaction, entitled to a portion of the value her participation generates. The extractive infrastructure behind the accusation. The Daily Mail's condemnation of Meghan's monetization reveals a fundamental hypocrisy at the heart of its business model. At 6:43 in the morning, the outlet had already packaged Meghan's wardrobe into a carefully constructed shopping piece, complete with direct purchase links, retailer alternatives from M&S and Ralph Lauren, and affiliate revenue mechanisms designed to capture every click generated by consumer interest in her choices. The newspaper was, quite simply, selling Meghan's outfit. Yet by 1:02 in the afternoon, that same outfit had transformed into evidence of moral transgression. The Daily Mail pivoted from profit to accusation within 6 hours and 19 minutes, weaponizing outrage about Meghan monetizing her appearance at the exact moment it became more commercially valuable to do so. The contradiction is not incidental. It is the entire architecture. When the Daily Mail runs its Shop Her Look pieces, the revenue streams flow exclusively to the newspaper. Meghan receives nothing, the designer receives nothing beyond baseline sales, and the outlet extracts the complete commercial value of her influence for itself. When Meghan participates in platforms like One-Off, revenue is distributed across the chain. The platform takes a percentage, the retailer benefits directly, and Meghan shares in the returns generated by her own cultural capital. The Daily Mail operates an extractive model while criticising Meghan for a participatory one. The newspaper profits from her choices without consent, without compensation, and without acknowledging that its entire infrastructure, editorial and commercial alike, is constructed precisely to do what it accuses her of doing. The confession came at dawn. The accusation arrived at lunchtime, and the palace source curiously expressed no concern about the Daily Mail's extraction, only about Meghan's participation. The palace's selective concern. And then, on the afternoon of April 17th, a palace source expressed considerable concern to a Daily Mail journalist about Meghan selling her looks while visiting Bondi Beach survivors, and the concern was published as a story. The palace source was apparently not concerned about the Daily Mail selling the same look 6 hours earlier. Here we find the mechanism of criticism laid bare. A source close to the institution had no objection to the morning's commercial enterprise, where the Daily Mail extracted full value from Meghan's influence without consent or compensation, but suddenly discovered moral alarm by lunchtime when Meghan herself attempted to participate in the revenue her own choices generated. The palace source's concern arrived precisely when it could be weaponized, when it could be packaged into a story criticizing Meghan for the very act of monetization that had already been performed on her behalf without question or comment. This selective anxiety, this convenient emergence of institutional worry, reveals how criticism functions not as principle but as strategy, deployed when it serves a narrative purpose while parallel commercial activity, conducted by the very outlets publishing the concern, passes without examination or remark.